Alright, so I'm here with the 2014 Night of Champions predictions. My prediction is I think it's going to be a pretty shitty show. I mean, no match really stands out as like a marquee matchup. I mean, maybe Lesnar Cena, but even that, it's like we just saw it. Pretty much everybody knows Lesnar's gonna fucking win. They're already talking about who Lesnar's gonna face after he beats Cena. So, I mean, it's probably not gonna be that good a show. And the way WWE's been going the past, recently, everything's been so fucking shitty. The show will probably suck. The first match I'm gonna preview here is Paige versus Nikki Bella versus AJ Lee. Maybe it will be a good match because I mean you got some decent wrestlers in here, some wrestling talent in here. Um, I don't think Nikki Bella's gonna win because I think Brie Bella's gonna be somehow involved in this. I mean, it is a triple threat match, which means no DQ. So I think Brie Bella's gonna get involved, and either Paige or AJ is gonna win. I don't see AJ winning because they already flip flopped the titles back so many times. So I don't think they're gonna do that again. So I think Paige is gonna retain here, and then maybe that'll lead to a. Brie Bella, Nikki Bella feud, and then I don't know what AJ's gonna do. I mean, AJT's a little bit of something with Stephanie on that Raw, and Paige might, maybe we'll get a Paige and Talia feud or something like that. But it's always possible Nikki's gonna win because they got the Total Divas show and whatever. So I don't know. We'll see. But it's really a toss up. I don't think AJ. I think AJ's a less likely person to win. But I think it's a toss up between Paige and Nikki. But I'll go with Paige here. Match may be decent, but I don't. Again, it's like I don't really give a fuck who's the champion. So I mean, there's no fucking excitement. That I'm that excited for this match because I know it's probably not gonna be that entertaining. Most Divas matches are boring, so there's no fucking there's not that much to look forward to here. Then we got Sheamus versus Cesaro. I think Cesaro's gonna win here. I don't see the point of it because Sheamus just faced Cesaro like 3 pay-per-views ago, something like that. So why would they do it again? I mean, it's stupid. They should have given him a belt or at least a big opportunity a long time ago. They were doing it good with Heyman and Cesaro. They had them together and they were good. I'm like, oh, good, Cesaro's gonna get a push now. Then he just went fucking straight down the fucking shitter and just took a big shit and didn't do anything. He just turned into a jobber. Lost to people like Biggie Langston and Kofi Kingston, and now he's losing like every fucking week. At least he's in a U.S. title match though. But I mean, like 3 months ago he lost. So why would they do it again? Why would they do the same thing again? So I think he's gonna win here. I hope he wins. He's a very talented wrestler. So I hope he fucking wins. And Sheamus is just very fucking boring. He should have turned heel like 2 years ago. I mean, he's stale as fuck. He's staler than fucking 2-year-old bread. He's fucking horrible. So fucking boring. Doesn't have that much of wrestling ability. Turn him heel, make him a monster heel. I mean, it fits in because he's an Irishman. He's all angry and shit. So turn him heel. Have fucking Cesaro. Fucking win. Give him something. At least give him a U.S. belt. I mean, the U.S. belt means like nothing, but at least give him something. At least he's got something. At least he's got a credible win over Sheamus, who's at least not a total fucking jobber. So I hope Cesaro wins. Will it be a good match? I'm not getting my hopes up that much. I mean, it's Sheamus. It's not like he's that great a wrestler. Cesaro, on the other hand, is a very good wrestler. So maybe it'll be okay. Then we got Mark Henry versus Rusev. A match I'm not really looking that forward to. I think Rusev's going to win. I mean, Mark Henry's pretty much a fucking jobber. So I'm not looking, too forward to this match. I mean, I don't give a shit about Henry because he's a fucking 400-pound, boring ass, washed up wrestler. Fucking, they were showing the highlights of him fucking, in the Olympics or something like 20 years ago. It's like, why would they even show that? That just shows how old Mark Henry is. He's like a fucking grandfather already. It's like retire. Why don't these guys fucking realize that they're old and boring and just retire? Like they can't do it anymore. They're fucking walking around the ring like a fucking, sloth. It's ridiculous. Just retire. come on, you don't want to fucking wrestle too long because that's when you get injuries and you ruin the rest of your life. Just retire Mark Henry, retire Big Show. You're fucking boring as wrestlers. But I think Rusev's gonna win here. I mean, I'm not expecting this match to be good. I'm actually expecting it to be horrible. I think it's gonna be a fucking, if I had to predict how many stars it would get, I think 0. Because these people don't have that much of wrestling ability in this match. But yeah, I think Rusev will win in a pretty shitty match. I mean, just not even looking, even 1 ounce, one bit of, energy, looking forward to this match. Nothing, I don't fucking care. I wish they would just cut this match out of the fucking show. Then we get the Usos versus Goldust and Stardust. Another fucking match I don't really give a shit about too much. I mean, I hope... I'm actually rooting for Goldust and Stardust because the Usos are just fucking horrible, doing the fucking retarded dance, fucking Uso crazy. It's just all of it's just retarded ass bullshit we've been seeing now for like the past 6+ months of them having this fucking reign as a champion. It's fucking just horrible to watch. It's like a fucking suffering through the whole goddamn reign of them being champions. It's horrible. Like, why couldn't they have a legitimate champion? Tough, badass. Instead you get fucking Usos who do a bunch of dances. All they do is super kicks, dives, and there are a few other decent moves. They're not good wrestlers, really. I mean, they're okay, but it's not like they're great or anything. They do the same fucking 5 moves, which are not bad moves, but when you do them over and over again, they're not good. They get boring. So I'm actually rooting for Stardust and Goldust. Not that I like them that much. I think their gimmick's pretty retarded and repetitive every week. So, but I am hoping for at least it's change. At least it's some type of change. It's been too bland. It's been bland 7 months. So maybe we'll go from bullshit to at least some different bullshit that may be a little bit better than the Usos, at least just a little bit. So I'm hoping for Stardust and Goldust, and will it be a good match? I am expecting this match to be pretty good. I mean, you do have some talent in this match. I'm expecting a pretty decent match here at least. And who do I think is going to win? Did I even say? I think Goldust and Stardust are going to win too. I think it's time for a change. I think they've had the belts for a while. They're due to lose the belts. So I think Goldust and Stardust are going to fucking win. Then we get Ziggler versus The Miz. Ziggler's going to win here, I think. And I am expecting a pretty good match between these two. I mean, they know each other pretty good because I hear they're pretty good friends. They're both from Cleveland, whatever. They've been wrestling, together for, for like a month or two now. Been in quite a few matches, whether it be on the pay-per-views or Raw, whatever, so they've gotten, I think they know each other pretty good. They've wrestled a lot in the past, so I think I'm expecting a good match. I mean, I think they've underperformed in my opinion. I think they, can have a better match than what we've seen in the, recently. But I'm expecting Ziggler to win here. I mean, he just won the belt. Miz just, I'm not expecting a change of the belt here. I am expecting sort of a good match. Not getting my hopes up too high, but again, it's a match that I don't really give a shit like who wins. So it's hard to even get into it that much. Like when you don't give a shit who wins the match, it's hard to even fucking give a shit about the match. It's like I don't care who wins the match, and you might care like you see 2 good wrestlers, and you're like I don't care who wins. They're both good. That's different than saying, I don't care who wins because they both fucking suck or they're both jobbers. So this is a situation where what they're fighting for isn't even that big. It's like they're fighting for the IC belt. Who the fuck cares? Who has a fucking IC belt? You might as well replace it with a piece of garbage. Fucking bring out a fucking bag of garbage, and replace it with the IC belt. I mean, that would be more prestigious than the IC belt, pretty much. I mean, I guess with Ziggler having it, it does bring a little bit of prestige back, but Ziggler's been a jobber, so it's not really that significant. But, I'm expecting Ziggler to win here, and I'm expecting a kind of decent match. Then we get Jericho versus Orton. Tough one here to predict, but I think Orton's going to win here. I don't know, though. It's pretty much 2 people who aren't really pushed that much in the company. I mean, Orton fucking sucks. Jericho at least has, he's a pretty good wrestler and he's got some mic skills. So I mean, I'm hoping for Jericho to win here. I don't think he's gonna win though, but I don't fucking know. It's hard to fucking tell. And again, a match that I don't really care about because both men are fucking jobbers. Jericho's not gonna fucking get in the world title picture anytime soon or get a main event spot because he's old and WWE doesn't want to push him, even though he does have talent. So it's like, even if Jericho wins, it's like, who the fuck cares? He's not really going to get a push. But I'm expecting, maybe an okay match. I mean, Orton's probably going to weigh down the match with fucking rest holds and boring ass moves and botches, but maybe Jericho will carry him to a good match. But I am expecting Orton to win here. Then we get Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. I'm expecting a good match. Maybe. I don't fucking know. It's hard. Sometimes you expect a good match and it just turns out to be total shit. But I think I said this in my Raw review. They've been wrestling together, on the Shield for like 2.5 years, so they know each other pretty well. They know their moves. So I'm expecting some good chemistry between them. Their match on Raw was decent, so hopefully their match on the pay-per-view is better than decent. I think Reigns will win. I mean, it's obvious that they want to put Reigns in a main event spot in the future. I think he fucking sucks, but that's what WWE is going to do. So I think Reigns is going to win here. It would be really good to see Rollins get some kind of bullshit victory, or at least some kind of victory here, because he does have talent. He is a Money in the Bank guy, so just have him fucking roll him up or something. Your fucking low blow, even if you gotta cheat. It would make Rollins look credible, make the Money in the Bank holder look credible, and that's what you're supposed to do. Rollins is probably going to be the next WWE champion, so make him look credible at least. Make him look like a fucking that he's actually good. Have him win, but I think Reigns is going to win here. Then we have the last match here: Lesnar versus Cena. I think Lesnar's going to win here. I mean, it's kind of obvious. I'll fucking put like $100 on Lesnar winning. I mean, it's like, do you guys really think Cena's gonna win? I don't think so. Maybe. I guess there's always a chance, but no, I think Lesnar's gonna win here. I think it's gonna be a pretty, maybe. I'm expecting this to be a good match. I mean, it's two fucking big names. Even though people will criticize Cena, he does come through in big, main event matches. It seems he does put on a good matches in main event matches. So I'm expecting a pretty good match here, and this is the only match I'm looking somewhat forward to, because I am a big Lesnar fan, so I'm looking forward to see Lesnar, beat John Cena again, beat him into the ground, yeah, looking forward to seeing that. Hopefully that happens again. That would be cool to see, like the same thing we saw at SummerSlam. You might say, oh, you say you don't like repetitive things, well, do some different kind of beatdowns, and even if it is repetitive, it's like it's like we've never seen Cena get beat up before. It was such a shocking thing. So even if they do it again, it would still be pretty good. So I just want to see Cena lose clean again to Lesnar, get him over, make him a credible champion, then have Lesnar drop the belt, have Lesnar hold the belt all the way to fucking Mania, I think, or just for a long time. Make him, look like this big, powerful force. Then, I think we could have Cesaro beat him, Bray Wyatt. I think how good of a feud that could be. Bray Wyatt, Brock Lesnar. You could have Daniel Bryan beat him at WrestleMania, get his title back. Just, there's a lot of possibilities. If you build Lesnar up as this big champion, he beat Taker, he beat Cena, beat Cena twice clean if they do that. And then whoever beats him is going to look like fucking God. So, I mean, it's a great way to get somebody over. And maybe replace Cena, yeah. If you have somebody beat Lesnar, they could fucking legitimately replace Cena. Have him beat fucking Lesnar. Have Bryan beat Lesnar, have Cesaro beat Lesnar, have Bray Wyatt beat Lesnar. Then have him go on to feud with Cena and have them beat Cena clean. Then you can make your new face of the company, your new #1 guy. Just a proposed idea there that's just thinking out of the top of my head. I mean, that's a very logical idea that a lot of people would support on this company. So Night of Champions, I think it's going to be a pretty bad show. I mean, none of these matches I really care about. Maybe there's going to be some good wrestling on it, but it's like I don't give a shit about a majority of these matches, so it's hard to get into the show for me. When you don't really care who's going to win. So there you go, people. There's your Night of Champions 2014 predictions video.